The movie starts and the story of a family of three begins. The husband, wife and their little girl had fun at an amusement park. Their little girl, named Andy, was having her birthday that night at the playgrounds. Her mother watched her daughter closely and she asked her husband, Russell, to do the same. She left them for the bathroom. Russell mindlessly got carried away and Andy wandered off. Andy saw strange things she had no answers to, but she kept walking further away. She entered a mirror hall in a playroom where she got really freaked out. She started to whistle with her mouth so as to figure out how to escape the delusion. Suddenly out of nowhere, another Andy showed up and she got terrified. And that was how everything started. Now in the present day, Wilson's family arrive at a house in the woods. They are a family of four. The husband, the wife, a daughter and a son. They enter the house and they settle down. It is the house they go to for vacations. They have a family meal in the house. The husband, Gabe Wilson, starts to talk about going to the beach to have fun after they settle down. The wife, then Adelaide Wilson, remembers her past as Gabe talks. After the meal, Adelaide lies alone and Gabe goes to her. She discourages the idea of going to the beach but Gabe insists. She finally agrees anyway and she starts to find Jason, their son. Jason is a playful boy with a monster mask always tied to his head. Jason gets locked up accidentally and he calls for help. Adelaide goes to him and opens the door and then they hear Gabe sounding a boat horn from outside. When they get out, they see Gabe run around the water with a boat and they laugh. After that scene, they go to the beach in a car. They vibe to music as Gabe drives. When they get to the beach, they meet Tyler's family there too. They are all friends and they embrace one another. Tyler is a family of four as well. Josh, Kitty and two beautiful girls who love to do acrobatic flips. Josh and Gabe link up as Kitty and Adelaide also do. Zora sits alone on the beat listening to music while Jason walks around. After some time, Jason wanders off and he sees a man standing ahead of him with his hands hanging as blood drips down his fingers. Adelaide feels his absence and she runs to find him. She finally sees him and she hugs him closely. Back at their house, Adelaide gets her children to bed and she begins to explain all her worries to Gabe. She explains the mirror girl to Gabe but he rather finds it unbelievable. As they talk, the power goes off and Jason tells them that there is a family in their driveway. They look outside and behold, it's actually a family of four standing outside, all in red, holding their hands without making a single movement. Gabe thinks they are just normal people and he decides to go say hello to a family of freaks. After he speaks to them and they do not utter a word, he starts to get worried too. Adelaide calls the police instantly because she has more understanding of the situation. She knows it's a threat. Immediately, Gabe informs this strange family about the police, and they attack them. Gabe runs back inside and he locks the door. The husband of this strange family hits Gabe and they eventually break into the house. They hold the Wilsons family hostage in their house and they assemble before them. What now shocks the Wilsons family the most is that this strange family looks exactly like them. Red is the replica of Adelaide and she asks Adelaide to cuff herself up. Abraham drags out Gabe. Zora runs out and Umbry follows her. Jason and Pluto also have their own session within the house. Just after Zora thinks she has outran Umbry, she comes out of nowhere. Umbry climbs a car and the owner begins to yell at her. Umbry attacks the man and Zora uses that opportunity to escape. Jason and Pluto keep playing a dangerous fire game even though Jason is getting his worst nightmares ever. Jason successfully outplays Pluto and he locks him up strategically. Gabe eventually kills Abraham and Adelaide manages to free herself. Adelaide, Zora and Jason finally meet and they run away from the house. Gabe gets to them just in time and they enter the boat and he zooms off. The movie then shows Tyler's family. Kitty reports the footsteps she's been hearing to Josh, but he fails to take Kitty's words seriously. Just like what just happened to the Wilsons family, another version of Tyler's family breaks in and they kill them brutally. Unfortunately for the Wilsons family, they arrive at Tyler's family house and they encounter these freaks. Adelaide tries to kill Josh's replica, Tex, but she fails. She gets pulled into the house instead. Gabe then tricks Tex away to kill him. Zora and Jason also sneak into the house to save their mom. Delia is Kitty's replica and she already ties Adelaide down. Zora kills the two daughters and Gabe also gets rid of Tex. Zora sneaks up to Delia but she gets her instead and she tries to kill her when Jason hits her in the head. They finally get rid of them and they sit together as they watch the news in Tyler's family house. These strange people are actually raiding everywhere and people start to freak out because everybody in the US is facing their own replica who's trying to kill them with scissors. However, they leave Tyler's family house and they encounter Umbri and Zora kills her with the car. The next day, they encounter Pluto again and Jason tricks him to enter the fire. Adelaide's replica, Red, then kidnaps Jason. Adelaide tracks down Red and she eventually gets to her. Red begins to explain the myth behind their existence. Adelaide and Red then begin to fight. In the end, Adelaide stabs Red and she dies. The police finally arrive at the massacred town and an ambulance takes the Wilsons family. The movie ends as Adelaide reflects on her past and she looks at her dear son, Jason.